What is up, everyone? Today we're showcasing a team with Dedenne, Vigoroth, and Trevenant in the Holiday Cup. I played this team for 3 sets right as the Holiday Cup started, live on my Twitch live stream, which, by the way, you should check out if you want to hang out while I do these battles and get access to these teams early. I'll put the link down in the description. Anyway, I used this team for 3 sets, went pretty positive, gained 40 points, which brought me up to a new season high for me of 26, 22 rating, which would currently be in a top 150 ratings on the leaderboard, so not too bad. Really did enjoy running it. I don't think it's the strongest team, to be honest, but it's a very, very fun one, and it definitely functions quite well. I really enjoy Dedenne in this meta. It's a very interesting electric type because it also resists fighting moves, which is exactly why I wanted to run it. It's pretty decent against Vigoroth, and it just destroys Obstagoon. But it's extremely squishy. It is extremely squishy, so even though it resists counters from Vigoroth, the body slams still do so much that that matchup is actually really, really close. Now, I'm pairing it with Trevenant because those two form like a really, really good core. Trevenant mainly struggles with dark types and flying types, and the Dedenne can beat both of those, and the Dedenne really struggles with ground types, which Trevenant really beats hard. Now, there's a couple Pokemon that do beat this Dedenne Trevenant core, like a Diggersby, like an Alolan Sandslash is not great for it, Charmers aren't great for it, which is why I'm pairing it with Vigoroth. Vigoroth takes care of all of those, so together these form a pretty solid squad. Anyway, let's just take a look at these battles. His first game is looking quite tough. The Kofa Grigus did quite a bit of work to my Trevenant already, and I'm still ways off from the Shadow Ball, but I can farm down this Grav and hopefully get to the Shadow Ball versus the Coffin, put it back where it belongs, right into the grave, hopefully. Yes, that is a good game. Alright, let's go. Next match. Froslass Lead is actually pretty even for the Dedenne, not amazing. They switch it to Diggersby instantly though, which makes me believe this is likely a double ground line. We see a bit of lag right here, but I think it's mutual because I already get to the Earthquake right here, which actually I might have even missed a counter there, but you know, that's all good. I am realizing at this point that it is likely a double ground line, which means I would like switch advantage, but I also don't want that Froslass to farm me down too much, because if the Froslass farms me down too much, my Dedenne and Trevenant are not gonna like the avalanches that will come out. So I'm really happy my opponent throws a Fire Punch here. That's less farm for the lass. And here I make a bit of a stupid play, maybe. I switch to my Trev, hoping they also switch, but now they stay in with their lass versus my Trev. And if my hunch is correct and it is a double ground line, I'm still gonna be in trouble, because as you can see, these Powder Snows are really adding up. And we also do have shields for the avalanches. I cannot shoot the Powder Snow, so I'll be very low coming out of this matchup most likely. Throw another Seed Bomb right there, I should win CMP. And this should be right at their second avalanche as well. It was, which I will definitely shoot up again. I do feel like it's double ground. Let's see. They're likely gonna switch out here. It is a Stunfisk like expected. Gonna throw my Shadow Ball here. Even though Seed Bomb, of course, is super effective and Shadow Ball is neutral, I throw this because it does slightly more damage. This will for sure put it in play rough range. However, maybe I should have Seed Bombed, even though 1 does less damage than Shadow Ball, 2 of course do more. And I think it's still play rough range, so I could have threatened them a little bit more. I know I don't die to 1 mid bomb here, so I'm just gonna take it and just throw my... well, I'm gonna overfarm by 1 actually. I wasn't sure how much energy the Froslass had anymore. And also I wasn't sure if I won CMP. Actually, thinking about it, they need 5 Powder Snows for that move, right? And I normally need 5 Thunderstrokes for discharge. So I just want to overfarm by 1, so I only need 4, so we don't CMP die here. But think about it, then they definitely win CMP there. So that overfarm was pretty useless, but still fine. It worked out in the end, so great game there. Alright, Alolan Sandslash Lead. Again, this thing does beat the Dedenne generally. And it also destroys Trevenant, of course. However, it's kind of bait dependent versus the Dedenne, because if I just like no-shoot and Ice Punch, I'm fine. I just don't want to take the Bulldoze, which they end up throwing immediately, which is an interesting move. I guess they were expecting me to no-shoot the first move, expecting the Ice Punch, but no. I saw it coming. I saw it coming. No, actually, I just want to use 1 shield either way, but I guess I'm very lucky they threw the Bulldoze right there, which allows me to get to another discharge before they get to another one, which I will no-shield at this point. I will take shield advantage for sure. Just gonna bring in Vigoroth right now. Thing is, they likely have another really great Vigoroth answer in the back, and I think I make a mistake. They lead an Alolan Sandslash, right? Double weak to fighting. It's probably like a really good answer to Vigoroth in the back, right? Like a Drifblim, where I can't do anything, right? Or maybe their own Trevenant, where Vigoroth also kind of stinks. Even with the shoot advance, I cannot beat that. So I probably should have stayed in with Vigoroth versus with my Vigoroth, because, well, like, I'm not gonna have much play in the back, I think. Even though this is like a really good matchup. So, you know, maybe a mistake? I don't know. Anyway, I'm just gonna take this out with Trevor now. At least I was able to farm up, but look at that. I'm already in the red, which is not great. They have a move, which I will shoot up. I could have thrown my move, but I didn't because I want to farm up more. Which turns out to be a great idea because I have an Altaria in the back, which is not the Vigoroth wall I would have expected. But yes, it is pretty good against Vigoroth. But since I have so much energy already, and the Shadow Ball already did so much, I'm just going to be able to double Body Slam here and take out the Altaria. Like, if this would have been a Drifblim, I would have been in real trouble. So I'm quite fortunate there. Take out the Altaria, farm down the Sandslash, GG. And now we're up against Home Slice Henry, someone who also makes videos here on YouTube. Really great content creator, so go check him out. I really do enjoy his videos. He's always running the Spice, always really early with new Pokemon, so definitely encourage you to check him out. We're also, during these battles, we were actually both live streaming our side of the battles. I was streaming on Twitch, he was streaming on YouTube, so that's quite funny. I had people coming into my chat after we battled, you know, saying hi, which is always very fun. So yeah, definitely come hang out in Twitch or on YouTube in the live streams, because those are always very fun. And Henry here is running Altaria Lead, which is quite good for Dedenne. In comes Greedent. This is really nice, actually. This looks pretty good so far. Actually, let's that go. I keep switch advantage, which is awesome. I just hope he has something weak to Trev in the back, and well, this is a Litleo, which is probably the hardest answer to Trevenant in the game. Super effective with the Fire Fangs. Flame charges do a lot of damage. Double resist to Shadow Claw, single resist to Seed Bombs, double resist to Shadow Balls. This is bad. This is really bad. I'm gonna have to take this out with the Dedenne. And then I'm gonna have to try to take out the Altaria with my tree, which is not looking amazing. It's not looking amazing. Just gonna throw another Discharge. And I barely get to this Discharge, which is just so clutch. It's very clutch, and I'm gonna have to come in with a tree versus the Altaria. Altaria has a little bit of energy, but not that much. I might be able to get to a Shadow Ball and a Seed Bomb here, which should be enough to take it out. It's gonna be quite close though. If he threw the Sky Attack immediately, I will reach it though, but I think he probably overfarmed a bit. Throw Shadow Ball here, just do a bunch of damage. Doesn't take it out though. Can we get to the Seed Bomb? Barely don't reaches. 2 turns off, so GG's the Henry there, right there, coming back from a bad lead. Well played. That Litleo was a little bit too much for me after my Vigoroth went down, unfortunately. Alright, Lanturn comes in to the lead. Not an amazing lead. So a switch to Vigo. Well, it is actually a pretty, like, decent lead. Lanturn is way tankier, though. So it's not awesome, but you definitely do some damage there. However, I'd rather have Trevenant on it, which is why I switched it to Vigoroth. And it comes a Froslass, which, well, I do not love, but I can take some health from it with the Bulldoze and then bring in my Trevenant to farm her down. Definitely shield this up though, because it will kill. And now I'm just gonna hope that whatever's in the back is weak to Trevenant. However, it could be Vigoroth. I think Vigoroth would make sense. However, it is an Obstagoon, and yeah, it's just over. It is just definitely over. And I just concede the game, because it definitely was over. GG. Alright, Alolan Graveler Lead. The Dedenne versus Alolan Graveler is actually not bad. It's actually a pretty decent matchup. However, I have 2 better matchups in the back, so I always just switch into Vigoroth there, hoping to lure out something like an Altaria. This is actually awesome, because now my Trevenant gets to avoid the Altaria. And this matchup is also not too bad. I'm actually going to be able to get to the 3rd Body Slam here. Barely. Before they get to the Sky... Well, they actually had a Sky Attack for a long time. But they threw just a turn too late, and we end up CMP tying here. Which is nice. I get the shield. And now I can hopefully farm this down with Dedenne. Honestly, I don't think I end up doing that. Dedenne is very squishy. And they definitely have a Moonblast right here, which would do a lot of damage. So I'm going to shoot it up. At this point, I'm going to farm down though, which gives me so much energy on this thing. Alolan Graveler comes in. I'm going to throw up a rough here. This will really hurt this thing because, well, we're both kind of squishy. So yeah, that is a lot of damage. I can just get over Discharge to kill it now. And now I'm just going to hope that whatever's in the back, I'll be able to beat with the combination of the Dedenne and Trev. And it's a Powder Snow Ninetales, which is not awesome because my Dedenne is already in a range where a Weather Ball would kill. And, well, my Trevenant is a Grass type, so we're not looking amazing. However, I think Trevenant should be able to survive one Weather Ball plus 4 Powder Snows, which would allow me to get to the Seed Bomb and kill it right here. So that's what I'm banking on right now. I'm just going to throw these Discharges, though, to take a shield. Now my opponent's going to have to throw their move, which they do. That is really nice. And now it's all up to Trevenant. Can we take this Weather Ball? Can we take this Weather Ball? That is the only thing that matters right here. Barely do. Get off the Seed Bomb. And that's a good game. Very close one. Luckily, Trevenant is barely tanky enough to take that. Alright, very nice. Alright. Altaria Lead. This is really, well, it's an okay lead, alright? Like, Altaria versus Dedenne is actually not amazing. Because Moonblasts add up. Actually, if you go straight play rough versus Altaria, and they can hit a Moonblast, you actually lose the one shields, which is kind of crazy for a Dragon type. But that's just Altaria for you. It's just broken. Cordilli here, by the way, is also pretty sick. Awesome pick for my opponent right here. Because Vigoroth actually loses this matchup in the 0 shields. I think if the Cordilli has a little bit of energy. I don't think straight up, but if it has a little bit of energy, you do. Because it's so tanky. The Bulldoze just does nothing, and it gets it 2 Grass Knots before you can counter it down plus Charge Mode. So it's really awesome. Really great pick. But so now we're actually in a tough spot because I'm shields down with the Dedenne versus alt. So I really don't love this. But we still have alignment, so it's not all bad. It's really not all bad. In comes Marowak. I have a little bit of a slow switch. I come in Trev. I'm actually gonna throw Seed Bomb here because even if they no shield, that's fine with me. I just want to fire off 2 Seed Bomb. You end up... Oh, I think this was a desync CMP type because the damage came in later. That's fine. I'm just going to shoot it up and it bait me. I really wasn't expecting the bait. But I guess it makes sense. But now they get to the Shadow Bone. Yeah, and that's gonna be enough to destroy me. Now I have they have 2 shields. I only have my Dedenne, and this is not looking good. I think well, that was just a tough call, right? If I would have no shielded that Shadow Bone or that Bone Club, I would have won the game. But if they would have Shadow Boned me, then I would have been dead, I guess. It was just a 50-50 at that point, and I lost it, which is okay. This would have still been tough though, because that ult was close to a move, and that would have definitely killed me too. So this point I'm hoping to farm down, but I barely can't. So great game. Well played by my opponent right there. All right, Altaria, in comes Marowak. This is actually tough. I don't know what to do here actually. But I come in Trev, because this is actually not too bad of a matchup. Even if they Bone Club bait me, I should be able to outpace still. Outpace? Faster than them. With the Seed Bombs, even though these are resisted, they do enough damage where I can farm down afterwards. I'm gonna have to throw another one here though, if otherwise they'd get to another move. Maybe did I count that correctly? I'm not sure. But this is still fine with me. In comes alt. And get to the Shadow Ball. I barely won't get to the Shadow Ball, so I have to throw a Seed Bomb here. And it does nothing. But, you know, they are almost in a range where Play Rough knocks them out now, which is really nice. In comes Grav. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. Shield this up because it's most definitely a Stone Edge. This will always be a Stone Edge. And that would almost kill, so... I don't really need shields for oh, come on, for the Dedenne. Yeah, we lag here. And this is the point. I mean, I threw in the middle of their final Volt Switch they need for Stone Edge. I think if they shield this up right here, they could get to another Stone Edge. If we didn't lag, I would have thrown my Body Slam earlier to make sure they can't CMP tie with me on the Stone Edge. But luckily, didn't end up mattering. They no-shielded it. They bring an ult hoping to sweep with it. But Vigoroth is just so spammy. It is so incredibly spammy. My opponent already shielded 1 Body Slam. I think it might have to shoot. He might have to shoot the next if he wants to survive Body Slams plus counters. which they do. Which honestly, I think might have been a misplay by my opponent. Because I do have a Dedenne here, which can get to the play rough, which would do much more than Body Slam. However, I think the Body Slam plus counters would have also already KO'd. So it is a bit of a rough spot for my opponent, I guess. Ends up going down 2k. Alright, Aerodactyl Lead. In comes Tangrowth, and I think I know what this line is. This is probably a grass hole with Venusaur in the back. If you saw my top teams video for Holiday Cup, I showcased or featured, I highlighted a team with Shadow, Aerodactyl, Chestnut with Smackdown, and Venusaur. This is another variant. Also, a variant that was run last year. Holiday Cup was around pretty solid line. Aerodactyl, Tangrowth, and a Venusaur. So that is what I'm expecting it to be. And, well, if it is, I'm actually in a rough spot because, well, Venusaur kind of beats both the Dedenne and Vigoroth. Well, this just destroys the Dedenne, to be honest. And Vigoroth is actually a close matchup. Vigoroth can actually win the Zero Shield matchup versus Venusaur because you can get the 2 Body Slams before they farm you. Well, they hit the Frenzy, of course, after 6 Vine Whips, but you can survive the Frenzy and the 10 or 9 Vine Whips in order to get to 2 Body Slams, just barely. But you don't get to 3 Body Slams, unfortunately. So if they have 1 shield, you will lose. So that's unfortunate because we have 1 shield and they also have 1 shield. So it's not looking great. However, I can just let Vigoroth go down here again. Even if I shield here, they will get to another Frenzy and kill me. So I'd rather save the shield for the Den at this point and just get to the discharge. I know they threw this basically instantly though, which means they need 5 more Vine Whips for the next Frenzy. So I'm just going to overfarm here. Because that Aerodactyl is also still like, I think 4 or 5 Rock Throws away. And I want to make sure I get to the discharge before it, because I think Aerodactyl might win CMP tie here. Venusaur definitely doesn't though, so even if they have a move right here, I'll just kill him, and that's a game over. Rough matchup for my opponent, for sure, but they've still made it pretty close, to be honest, so GG. Alright, Golbat Lead. In comes Porygon 2, which is crazy. I just bring in my Vigoroth here, but in hindsight, I should have brought in Trevenant. Because Porygon 2, well, I think it can it run Blizzard? I think it might learn Blizzard, actually. Well, but it usually runs Zap Cannon. Look at that damage. Also guaranteed attack fail from the Zap Cannon these days. They also run Tri-Attack. But yeah, Zap Cannon, Tri-Attack. Super duper resisted by Trevenant. I could have just gotten so much farm there. But I went in Vigoroth. Not bad either, because I still take it out, right? I let him lock on me a couple more times, because I want this Golbat to only be able to get 1 wing attack. The instant switch there, and I see normal, and I think, wow, that's a Vigoroth. Yes, I'll go in Trevenant, and it's a freaking Greedent, which, well, is not amazing, right? These crunches, well, that crunch really hurt, so it's not looking awesome at the moment. But it's still, I think even if I knew it was Greedent, still would have been an okay switch, because the Trevenant is basically useless against the Golbat as well. Now, Greedent is quite tanky, so I wasn't expecting Play Rough to kill. So I'm gonna go for 2 discharges because it's safer. Mistake, because Play Rough would have definitely killed, so I should have thrown it. So, kind of unfortunate. I'm gonna have to throw my discharge before the next Body Slam. Because I really don't want because I don't want to use a shield, right? I need more Thunder Shocks on this Golbat in order to knock it out. And I think a discharge might be able to KO. I hit one here, I have a little stutter, and I think I missed 1 Thunder Shock in the process, but I don't think it's gonna matter. 1 more discharge. Does this knock it out? Apparently doesn't. He's still two Thunder Shocks away from knocking out at this point. Can I get those 2 Thunder Shocks? I barely cannot, and we lose right here. I think I lost 1 Thunder Shock during that little stutter lag, but that is fine because 1 Thunder Shock would not have knocked out anyway, so I would have lost that match either way. GG's to my opponent right there. Again, if I just went Trevenant into the Porygon right there, I would have won that easy, because I would have Trevenant to destroy the Porygon, would have Vigoroth to destroy the Greedent, who would have had the Dedenne to destroy the Golbat. But, you know, that's all hindsight. It's all good, you know. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you in the next one. Good luck with your battles, trainers.